Hello and welcome to PPC Live The Podcast. I'm your host, Anu, the founder of PPC Live. And if you're used to hearing from PPC experts about how to ensure that we are keeping up with the ever-changing landscape, don't worry, you are still in the right place. But instead of me relaying what the PPC experts are saying, I'm bringing the PPC experts to you. Every week, I speak to a different PPC expert about their biggest F-up and also how they turn things around. We never leave things on a defeated note. We'll share what has been disappointing, who was inspiring to us, how our managers, took the error that we made, how they guided us to the solution, how our clients dealt with the solutions, and just different learnings as to how to avoid making future mistakes. So this week, I'm very excited to speak to a good friend, Boris Beceric of the of PPC Live. He's been an ambassador of PPC Live, done in many years, worked in Google Ads, advertising, helping clients, find the solutions to their issues when, all else has failed. So yeah, I'm really, really delighted to have Boris on the podcast again to share a couple of the F-ups he's made and the journey that he had with those F-ups and what guardrails he now puts in place to avoid making those F-ups again. So yeah, let's go speak to Boris. Hello, Boris. Welcome to PPC Live, the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
My pleasure. Yes. It's so nice that you say again, because Boris has been on the podcast before. I think it wouldn't have been this year, but maybe like late last year, about a year ago, Boris came on the podcast to just talk about the industry in general, just talk about, how we're doing things, especially like for lead gen, like PMAX and automation, that kind of stuff. So definitely watch that episode. But yeah, this is the first time Boris is going to be talking to us about a mistake that he's made, how he navigated that, how he still kept on good terms with his client. But yeah, before I start off with, we know Boris, anyone that has been part of the PPC Live chat, especially our WhatsApp group, Boris is the person that keeps people in line for me. I'm not the bad guy. It's like between Boris and I play good cop and Boris is bad cop.
I'm sort of the enforcer, I feel at times.
He is, and I love it. He saves me from having to do it. Whatever rules Boris says, and anyone's listening is thinking, "Oh, but I knew are you aware what Boris is doing?" Yes, I'm aware what Boris is doing. I approve it. So whatever. Don't start coming to me thinking you're gonna get let back in because Boris kicked you out. So yeah, Boris, thank you so much for joining me today, especially on very short notice. For those who don't know, Boris has been in the industry for like close to 15 years, helping people with their Google Ads accounts. Most, on his profile, especially, because most Google Ads accounts don't need more campaigns. They need clarity. And that's what Boris is helping people with. And he's the person who, where you feel like you've tried everything, you've hired too many freelancers, you've burned through a lot of money, worked through, different agencies and different strategies, and still don't know why your Google Ads account is working. He's the one that is really good at finding out, removing complexities, finding out what the issue is, fixing what matters, building systems that will help you scale. And he's great with audits, strategic resets, hands-on implementation, senior consulting, whatever it takes to get your account out of chaos and into control. I feel like that's the first time you're hearing someone reading out what you wrote. Yeah. I hope you're impressed. You did a great job. You really did a great job.
Such a nice sales pitch. Thanks, Anu. And on that note, we'll be seeing you next week.
All right. No. Stick around. Fun fact, I love this. Even when I was asking Boris, my brain was like, oh my God, I know you did this. So Boris actually recorded an EP, so like a track record about, Google Ads called Shaking the Cushions. I don't know, at some point, I don't know if you remember, like there was someone, it wasn't you, it was like someone was even Google themselves that said that they're trying to shake the cushions for our budget, for the budgets kind of thing. How did that term actually come about?
I think that was revealed when Google had to turn over a lot of emails during the antitrust case, one of the antitrust cases. And I think Jared Dishler actually mentioned that in one of his emails, that they were behind and they were going to be punished by Wall Street if they didn't meet targets, and they were going to shake all the cushions they could find in order to meet expectations.
Right.
So that's where that came from.
Right. Interesting. So yeah, in his brilliant mind and his music studio, Boris created an EP from that. and also has 3 other tracks that you've recorded, just in terms of your music lifestyle. And he also said I should mention that his office is in his gym. Like, because why have 2 separate? Why have them separate? Just have them in one, so that whenever you're bored of work, you can go lift some
Yeah.
weights. And
Or if I get really riled up, I can just throw some weights around, be like,
right,
oh,
right,
and
right.
then be good again.
All right. How often does that happen in terms of?
Oh, I've gotten more chill over the years.
Okay. Well, don't be chill today. Bring out all your stress in terms of, like, let's speak out so that our audience really listens, hears about the stress of
We'll see.
managing accounts and dealing with clients, so that we know the things that we should or we shouldn't, and we shouldn't stress about. This is no do or die. You've been in this industry long enough to know that mistakes happen.
Oh,
We all survive them. The best of us make mistakes, uh, but we don't leave things on the defeated note. We turn things around. We still get clients who trust us, because, like, yeah, the industry is so shifting so much, especially of late in the past year. Updates every week. It's easy, much more easy right now than when we started, to make mistakes. So, yeah, it's really great to have these kind of conversations to just keep people's mind at ease with what they're doing. But yeah, without further ado, Boris, what
yeah.
is the F up you'd want to share with us today?
So it's not a recent one, actually. Happened, I think, 10 years ago or so, when I made, it was actually a tiny mistake
Okay.
that then snowballed into something much bigger. So I set up value track parameters, and I did a copy paste mistake, right? So instead of, after the URL, instead of starting with a question mark, I accidentally put an ampersand.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Yeah. So then, as a result, all traffic from that campaign got directed to 404 pages for a couple of days. So that actually amounted to, I think, K in wasted ad spend. So that wasn't good at all.
No. So
Yeah.
was this pretty much something that the buck landed with you? You were the consultant, or were you working in an agency?
I was actually working in-house at that time.
All right.
For a company. So huge ad spend. So we're talking like high 6 to 7 figures per month. So I mean, it wasn't like a big costly mistake, but it was one of the core products that we had. So it, was noticeable that
Yeah.
we were missing revenue from that product line. So
Yes.
people started digging around, and eventually they found out.
Yeah. So who found out the mistake? Who was the one that was like, yeah, Boris, you put the wrong URL?
Yeah, so this is one of those situations you don't really want to get into, because it wasn't me.
Okay.
I was totally oblivious to everything. I was like, hey, I'm rocking this thing. Like, this is fine. Like, this is easy mode. It was actually my manager, the guy who hired me. He was like, hey, Boris, like, you done really messed up here. Like, look at this. And it's been going on for the last 5 days. Like, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's first time I'm hearing about that. Yeah.
But how do you feel that manager handled it? Was it kind of like, okay, you're like, okay, this is not the kind of manager I want to work with anymore? Or do you feel like he was actually had good head on his shoulders and how he took it?
He had a good head on his shoulder, for sure. So, actually that happened within like the first 3 months of my employment there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was still in probation period, and
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure how to read this guy, or like I respected him because he was like a grumpy dude who'd been with the company forever, and he knew his stuff, and he was very tech savvy. So he wasn't just a marketer. He had his hands in the product. He did tracking, like everything, self-taught as well. And first I was like really worried that I was gonna, at least get written up or something. And he got stern with me. He was like, yo, Boris, I need you to step this up like a whole notch, because this is not like agency lifestyle where you just put 1 hour into each client and then you move on. Like, I need you to be thorough here. So yeah, he was stern, but then after it was done, and then we, he put guardrails in place, and then it never happened again. So that was,
Lovely.
lesson learned, I want to say, and I still have good contact to that guy to this very day. even though
Nice.
we've both moved on by now. Right?
Yeah, yeah. That's good. The
Oh,
relationship survived. He dealt with it well. I like that. Stern,
yep,
but once the thing was done, it was done. Lesson learned, put guardrails in place.
yep,
That's the important takeaway from
yeah.
how a manager really should deal with it.
I think he's one of those people who's like, you mess up once, it's fine, but if you do the same mistake twice, then I'm gonna ask, like, can't you do it, or do you not want to do it properly?
Mm,
Right? So then we're talking about something else entirely. But
yeah,
even though it was costly, it was, at the end of the day, it was fine. And
yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, that was back in the time when, you could have a 5, 6, 7 ROAS on search alone. It wasn't as competitive as it is today. So
yeah.
we printed big money.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And how did the client take it? Do you know?
I was in-house, so I was working for them. So
Of course,
that
of
was it.
course. Yes, yes.
That was it.
Client, yeah, it's different. That's not two different questions. So it's literally it was your
Exactly.
brand. But did you know, because that's your manager talking, but as your this is a department, were there any, so was it literally it started and ended with the manager themselves? There was no other person
No,
that would have
it
cared
was.
about that. Yeah.
So it wasn't that. Had it been a bigger issue, or had it been negligence, or had it been more wasted spent, like in the tens of thousands or something, then maybe he would have taken it to management. I don't know.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it was inside of our immediate team. So there were 3 other people on the team, and
Yeah.
we shared everything openly, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's an in-house issue. Do you have an example that could give us one where it was an agency issue and a client needed to be informed about a mess up?
From the top of my head, once I set up a display campaign and I forgot to unselect or deselect optimized targeting.
Okay.
So that wasn't fun. And the whole thing went like 6, 7 times over budget in the first 2, 3 days.
Ooh.
Yup.
Okay.
And that's when I needed to inform the client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that situation, how did the client take it?
Honestly, was appreciative of me taking that step to inform them, because had they found out and, what is this, Boris? Oh yeah, this is when I did this and that, but I never told you.
Yeah.
That would have been a bigger issue.
Yeah.
If you make an honest mistake,
Yeah.
but at least you stand up to it,
Yeah.
stand up for it, and say, made this mistake. This is what I'm gonna do moving forward
Yeah.
in order to not make the same mistake again.
Yeah.
Then usually clients are fine with that.
Yeah.
They're just very allergic to finding out after the fact
Yeah.
without anyone telling them.
Yeah.
That's the worst kind of situation to be in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When these mistakes happen, like for yourself, what have you felt in terms of yourself? Like, are you the kind of person who beats yourself up when you make a mistake, or do you just go, whatever, we'll just not
Oh,
do or
no.
die?
I think I've gotten better at it over the
Okay.
years. Let's face it, like, mistakes are always gonna happen.
Yes.
You don't get paid to not make mistakes, or you get paid to make mistakes and find out about them a lot quicker
Yeah.
than you
Yes.
used to. But yeah, usually for me, it's kind of a physical reaction. It's almost like soul leaving body sometimes. It's
Okay.
like, oh, shoot, like this,
Yeah.
like adrenaline rush and everything's like, oh, okay. So that's always been for me the thing. When
Yeah.
I find out something went sideways, like, I have usually physical reactions
Yeah.
more so than. So what I not tend to do is I don't go back to that over and over again. So
Yeah.
I don't dwell on that. That's, I
Okay.
think, what I wanted to say. But I
Yeah.
have this immediate physical reaction, like, oh, shoot, like this is like, just doesn't feel well
No.
for me.
No. 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 Absolutely. And like, what are the guardrails that you've put in place in terms of these issues? Even like either of them, whether the one with the
Yeah,
URL and then the value tracking. What are
yeah.
guardrails people should think of to ensure to not
I
avoid
mean,
these kind of mistakes?
I'm not sure if I should go into specifics on that one. I can tell you, I set up I set up a report. Basically what we did, we analyzed the server logs for any 404 and 500 HTTP responses, and we sent an email to the team each week, and everyone had the task of looking at some pages of that to find out if anything unexpected came up.
Nice.
So that was our way of squashing these issues or similar issues in the
Yeah.
future. Could always be, no, it doesn't have to be your fault. It could just be the website team changing a URL or something, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the paid ads manager's fault all the times. Just when things happen, set up a process that will help you avoid that same mistake again. In the other example I gave you, it's as simple as an account or campaign launch checklist. Each time you set up a YouTube or a display campaign, please make sure this setting is deselected before publishing the thing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And looking back, are there like some things that could have been, well, I guess, yeah, you've just said that in terms of like doing the checklist beforehand, but like even like mindset of, something like maybe like you said, your manager has even said like, told you like, Boris, put your mind in the game. This is not agent, this is our money kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is there like a mindset that, are those the things that you feel that you did miss? Or was it just an honest error that you made in terms of that landing page? Is there a mindset that you advise people, PPC managers to have to try and avoid those kind of things that, that maybe you missed before?
I mean, that was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
So I don't think that has to do anything with a mindset. I mean, that was also a product of a much younger Boris, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like
right.
I was just so cocksure of the things I was doing. I'm like, yo, I've been doing this for 5 years. I got this.
Yeah.
This is easy. Like I came from the agency, like, I'm running 20 accounts at any given point in time. I'm like, how hard can it be? Right.
Yeah.
But, and I think that is when some of the worst mistakes happen, is when you're overly sure of your own ability. I mean, I've since fully learned that there is never too much knowledge, and you never stop learning, and you always have to be diligent, and you always have to double check everything. Never assume anything. Never assume the client has done certain things. Never assume that you would have done certain things, even if you're the one setting up the campaigns. Like always double check. I think that's the main takeaway that I had from all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't rely on your cocksure nature of like, you've been doing this for a few years now. And especially with automation, we'll get things done. Anyway, we'll get to the version of automation. But
It's
like,
only Google Ads. How hard can it be?
How hard can it be? And people even now think it's easier because of AI. And you're like, oh, dude, beware.
They'll be gone in a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely right. If someone's going through something like this, what's your advice to them? Like their manager has just come to them and gone, you messed up the landing page, setting up the landing page, and it's gone wrong. What's your advice to them?
Well, first of all, take ownership of take responsibility for your own actions and for your own mistake. I think that's something that applies to everything in life.
Yeah.
Like ain't no one coming to save you or put the flames out for you. Like it stops with you essentially. Yeah. So that's one thing. But the other is, leaving aside maybe the gravity of certain situations. But this is not a life and death kind of scenario, right? What is it? I mean, I always think it's so funny. Like we're sitting behind screens and pushing buttons. But at the end of the day, I'm just a click dealer, really.
Well, right? There's money involved, so maybe it's not just as simple as click dealer.
Yes, but if we're being brutally honest, we're selling clicks.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, is it our responsibility to deliver the highest quality, high intent most of the time, depending on the strategy? Yes. But it's not open heart surgery. So cut yourself some slack, give yourself some grace. Like I said before, mistakes are going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how you learn. If you never make a mistake, you're not trying hard enough. Like for real. Like if you never messed up a test, if you never overspent tenfold, like what's the point? You're just playing it safe. Like,
Yeah.
I just know for a fact that there is so much untapped potential in an
Yeah.
account that's never made a mistake
Yeah.
that I almost can't take too seriously.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? I'm actually going to do a jump and a bit of a people be like, I know you usually don't ask this question yet, but this is a perfect time to ask
Yeah.
it now that
Do
you
it.
say this about, especially when you mentioned that, our job is to push the boundaries and if you've never made a mistake, I will question how much. But how yeah, we're in an industry or in the work career field of we should be testing things. So many new things are coming around. We should
Yeah.
be testing things.
Yeah.
Well, how do you ensure that you're not being cocksure with your testing and you're not being irresponsible with your testing, but you're still bold enough to test? What are some tips to ensure that you actually do it with a good head on your shoulders?
I mean, see, that's where like good old budget allocation comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have X budget for the month or the year or whatever, then I just make sure to use 80% for what's proven to be working, or
Okay.
what you have agreed on with the client or with your boss, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can, I realize it's not always possible, like if you're talking about small budgets and everything, but if you can, like set aside the other 20% and test strategically, test
Yeah.
performance max, test AI max, test broad match, test smart bidding exploration, whatever you need to test, like,
Yeah.
run a little YouTube campaign, do the thing. I think that's the most sensible thing I can
Yeah.
suggest to you. And then that way it's not just inside of a campaign that's been running great, just enable AI max and suddenly it goes off the rails. But yeah, test that outside of your like bread and butter campaigns or outside of the budget that you need to spend profitably, I think.
But pushing back, and apologies, it's almost like I'm coming at you, even though I invited you on this podcast. It's like put a little bit of
No,
a pushback.
no, that's
When
fine.
when people go, because with Google accounts, and we clearly see that the more budget you give an account, a campaign, the better it'll do, right? So how can you justify giving only 10% when actually when you put the 10% in, the performance it will give will be very different if you actually then put a lot more and the whole difference was just a volume thing.
Oh, pushback from my side. You know damn well, Anu, that a campaign wouldn't scale linear
No,
if you just put more budget on there, right? And so I think that question is almost a bit flawed.
sure.
Sure. So yeah, I stand by what I said.
Okay.
Oh, you need to test things. You need to test things in a controlled manner. And yes, I mean, if there's a scenario where you can, you have 80% lost of budget, but you're like hitting all your targets, then by all means, just turn it up, right?
Yeah.
That's not something I'll ever advise against,
Yeah. No, no,
right?
absolutely. You see, even Boris even corrects me when even on my podcast show. So guys, take Boris's corrections. It's all for good. But no, I like that. I like that you stood by that answer because yeah, that doesn't that means anyone listening, it shouldn't
Mm.
stop you from saying that I'm not gonna test because it's still worth testing. Even if you have a small budget, use it to test, see what the mistake is gonna be, make this mistake on a small scale before you go large scale on it so
Yeah.
that you know what not to do on the large scale. So no, I absolutely definitely appreciate that answer. Um okay, so shifting the spotlight to, mistakes that you see. I mean, that we could have a whole 1 hour 2 hour podcast episode and talk about the mistakes that you've seen in
Mm.
audits, but especially like the ones related to automation. Can you just give us highlight a couple that you've seen that is just a persistent mistake that you see people making that you're shocked is still happening in 2025?
I mean, the biggest thing for me is always the blind acceptance of everything, Google says. So all the
Mm,
recommendations, you should increase your budget. You should use broad match. You should look at optimization score. You should do all these things. No, you shouldn't do anything if you're, if your bank account says otherwise, you shouldn't be doing anything.
No.
You shouldn't pull bold moves. Only if you feel, you can scale a bit further, then you can look at recommendations and see what applies to your specific business. I think that's the one that's constantly driving me nuts is whenever I'd look at low budget lead gen accounts, and then the top recommendation, always because it's an AI essential, set up a performance max campaign. It's like, no, I'm hitting all the KPIs I need to hit. Why would I set up a performance max? Why would I do AI max? Why would I switch everything over to broad and
Yeah.
max conversion value when it's
Yeah.
working the way it is now?
Yeah.
I think that's still the biggest gripe I have to this day. And
Okay.
I don't think it'll ever go away, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know it's not necessarily what I'm saying, but I want to clarify what it is that you're saying is that like with ad campaigns, if you're hitting your targets, don't test anything new.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I know that's what you're not saying. I know
That's
you're
not
not.
that's not what I'm saying. You can always test things.
Yeah.
What I don't want you to test is like apply all recommendations and then like throw your hands up and be like, all right, I did all I can do. Now let's pray and see like how next month is going to look for us.
Yeah.
It's hardly ever the best way to go about this.
Yeah. So it's still actually, yeah. So all your recommendations actually fit together nicely. So your previous recommendation of like, test small. And then, so if you test small and, the rest of your campaigns are actually hitting their targets, yes, let those rest of them. And if you test small and that small one continues to hit the target, maybe add it to the strategy.
Yeah, probably. Maybe we should. I know this isn't directly relevant to the whole theme of the podcast, but if I say test small, I mean there's also contradictory. So I'm losing my word here. So I've also seen differently. And so when some of the biggest gains you can make is when you do radical tests.
Okay.
But those radical tests usually don't happen inside the Google account.
Okay.
So some of the biggest levers you have is like a radically different landing page.
Right. Yeah.
A new offer.
Yeah.
Something, right? So something that would benefit the user and that would then reflect in the Google Ads account.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're not confined to only be testing in the Google Ads account. If you can, of course, if you have if you have the say in, with the client, or if you have direct influence on how the landing page looks or how the messaging is, how the form looks, all that stuff. Some of the most pointless tests I've seen are just like change the button color or something like that's what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So yeah. So sometimes test small, sometimes like do radical stuff and see what that brings you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's some very great advice. And definitely really appreciate that, Boris. We've covered a lot of the questions. Like, second to last question I'd love to ask is, I always like taking a moment of us talking about mistakes and why it's important. You never see that on Google. Actually, you're one of the few people who will mention of like, guys, look at how this went wrong. I've seen some of your posts. Maybe you're the only one I see doing that. Why is it important? Why are those things important for you to actually share of like, this went wrong?
I don't know if it's important to me. I just think it's how I operate. And I think for me personally, it's the way I am on LinkedIn, especially, is also pretty much the same way that I am in private. So it's just a direct reflection. I think, it can't all be just glory and wins all the time.
Yeah.
Like no one, like if you look at LinkedIn, then we're all just living large and raking in millions each month, right? When in fact, when I'm having conversations with some of my friends, I realize that that's not the case at all. Like there's many companies that are struggling. There are many agencies that are struggling. There are many freelancers that are struggling.
Yeah.
But somehow we always need to keep our armor up, which I think is wrong. Like if it's only authentic and natural to share some of your shortcomings and mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should have a problem with that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's very true. And sometimes I like sharing that. I'll admit about the amount of times I've been fired before, or the time where just something that just didn't go my way. And I thought that was gonna work out this way. It really didn't. And I've gotta
Same.
say I'm happy with where I am now. So all of those
Yeah.
mistakes led me to where I'm now, and I'm not complaining. So
The
yeah.
same.
The
I've been fired more times than I care to admit.
Yeah, me
Right?
too. Yeah.
I've also left companies
Hmm?
in the probation period, when
Yeah.
after a couple of weeks, after I realized like this place is nuts.
Yeah.
Like I better be out of here or
Yeah.
else like so I'm just not going to be happy. So yeah, I
No.
did all of that, and yeah, I had a fair amount of fuck ups.
Yeah.
I've also had a fair amount of like giant wins, of course. Like otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today,
Yeah.
for
Still.
sure. But I think all of that, like the journey is is almost the destination. Like there is no I don't
Yeah.
think there's an end goal to any of this, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, I mean, I for once, I'm just making things up as I go. Like I'm still learning life and Google and everything in between and parenting and being a good husband and all that stuff.
Mm.
So I'd never want to pretend that I have it all
Yeah.
figured out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't.
Well, yeah, the destination is the journey. I love it. I
For
love it.
sure. Yeah.
Boris, this has been such a great conversation. It's gone by too quickly. So yeah, maybe we make it a yearly thing, and next year you come back
I
again
enjoyed
for
that. Yeah, yeah.
share another story.
Well, each each time you fail in like sending out the invite to the guest you wanted to have on, you just feel free to WhatsApp me, right?
I mean, I will. I will. I'm glad I thought to do that because I literally was like, oh my God, this guest has not responded. Boris! And I'm so grateful you made the time. I'm so grateful you made the time for us.
Always.
Before we leave, my last question of the show, I hope you quote this one because my guests like specifically preparing for this
Well,
question. If your PPC career were a movie, what would the title be? It could be a movie that you identify with. You can come up with a totally different title. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. So I just looked at the questions shortly before I hopped on the call. But I think the perfect movie title for my PPC career would be Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, really?
Yeah, it's just, because so often you just get up in the morning and be like, oh, it's accounts again.
Accounts again.
Oh, it's client calls again. Oh, it's acquisition again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's content again. Like, but yeah, it's just
Google has done something again.
Oh, Google done something. Yeah, that's a recurring theme.
Oh, bless. Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day
Yeah.
is what Boris's career would be if we were a movie.
I think so.
Interesting. I love it. Well, where can we find you to hear some of your very honest approaches to how you do paid search? I know it's on LinkedIn, but anywhere else?
The only place is LinkedIn.
The only place is LinkedIn.
For the longest time, I've always thought of doing the YouTube, and I've dabbled with it occasionally, but the only thing is LinkedIn. It's working for me.
Great.
So I don't feel the need to go somewhere else. Maybe in the future I'll do a YouTube.
Yeah, maybe test. Do you take your advice about testing? Small budget to test.
Don't use my words against me, Anu.
Try.
I hate that. All right.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Boris. It's been such a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you so much, Boris, for sharing that very honest and transparent experience. And, what else are we going to get from you? You already show such an honest and transparent view of how you're going through the paid search journey on LinkedIn, and the mistakes that are happening, the errors that people are showing of themselves, and audits. You take us through some really great audit tips. So yeah, check out Boris's profile. He gives some really great auditing tips, and and just shows what was the big mistake that he saw when he's about to audit a campaign, which is something that you can take away and make sure you don't do when you're auditing a campaign or when you're running your paid search campaigns anyway. So remember to get the full information and the full transcript of that conversation. Please go to podcast.ppc.live. And so, yeah, you'll get the full details. And we'll also send you the band link for Bandstand link is Bandstand link is the link that Boris said he'll share with us so that you can see the music, his musical musings of how he wrote about his experience in paid search. PPC Live event updates. So excited. We've got another event, exciting event coming to you on February the 5th. February the 5th, put that in your calendar. We've got the scripts master, Niels Rujman, who is going to be talking to us about his favorite PPC scripts for e-commerce and, just showing you how easy it is to implement them, even in our world of AI, so that you can automate safely and automate with taking your client's budget in mind and spend in mind, and also automate confidently and get into the world of automation in a very easy way. Any scripts that you've actually taken on and written, 90% chance it was gone through Neil's eyes of actually creating it or editing it to make it better. So yeah, you want to be at PPC Live for the event, first event of 2026 at February the 5th. So go to ppc.live for your tickets. It's early bird sale right now. I've automated the settings of when it goes from early bird to full price. So that will go on automatically in the next couple of weeks. So you don't want to miss out. There's not going to be like, it's going to end in a couple of weeks and then you'll have a couple of extra days. Once it ends, it ends. That's it. And it'll be full price. Although full price will still be only £49. So good way to way to spend your Christmas money or your Black Friday money, whichever one that you want to do. Before I leave you as well, I'm also delighted to share that I'm taking on coaching clients, anyone that just needs advice and direction in how to get into the paid search industry. Go to themarketinganu.com for that to figure out how to book my time. We'll have a free coaching session, a free discussion, free discovery call to see what it is that you need and what you want out of me, so that we ensure that the coaching sessions are tailored to your particular needs. So yeah, if you go to themarketinganu.com, you'll see how to do that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I look forward to bringing more PPC F-ups and triumphs next week. Thank you.